This is just a quick video to demonstrate a defect in Premiere Pro. This is a multi-camera edit where I've got ultimately some red video here. These are just color mats. I've got some blue video here, and I have a cross dissolve between them. And when I go across that dissolve, I expect it to fade from red to purple to blue, but it doesn't. It instead fades down to black and then pops up on the other clip. So it's red, should fade to blue, but it doesn't. It goes to black first. Now this appears to be a problem with the GPU, because if I go into project settings and switch to software only, then I get exactly the behavior I expect. Smooth fade between red and blue. But with the GPU acceleration turned on, it just fades to black. I can make this project available. This is real simple. This is just color mats. There's no real footage. Let me show you exactly how I built this step by step. Just takes a couple of minutes. So I'm going to simulate a multi-camera shoot using a camera that breaks its clips into multiple files. So let's just use color mats and not try to mess around with any real footage. So I'm going to make one color mat, make it red, and we're going to call this camera 1A. This will be the first file generated by camera 1. Camera 1 keeps rolling and creates another clip, and we'll make this one blue just so that we can see the difference. And this will be camera 1B. So this is the second clip. So camera 1 just rolled and it created two files. Okay, and let's create we have to have another camera so we can do a multi-camera sequence. So let's create another color mat, and let's just make this, anything. Green's fine. And this is camera 2. Okay, now camera 1 split its clip into two files, so we need to join those back together, so we'll just nest those in a sequence. So here's my camera 1 sequence, and that is just, the two clips. The red one followed by the blue one. And then camera 2 is camera 2 is just the green. So now I'll make a multi-camera sequence out of these, camera 1 and camera 2. Create multi-camera source sequence. We're not going to try to do anything fancy. This will just be the multi-cam sequence, and that doesn't matter. Okay, so now we have a multi-camera sequence, and if we open this in the timeline, we can see we just have our two cameras, camera 1 and camera 2. Camera 1's down here on the bottom. Camera 2, it doesn't really matter, we're not going to use it. So let's do a multi-camera edit. So we'll drop this multicam into a new sequence, and this will be our edit sequence. And if we look at this, you can see that we have camera 1, which is red and goes to blue, and of course camera 2 drops out. It doesn't matter, we're not going to use camera 2. So let's just try to do a cross dissolve from something early to something late. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it here and here. So before that is the red, which is the first shot from camera 1. At the end here, this is all blue. It's all inside the second shot. So let me just delete this. So now we just have some red that cuts directly to blue. And we don't need the multi-camera monitor to see this. Okay, so it's red, it goes right to blue. Now let's add a cross dissolve between these. Let's see, video transitions, dissolve, straight up cross dissolve between them. Now we would expect this to smoothly fade from red to blue. But as you can see, it doesn't. It goes down to black, and then at the end of the sequence pops up to blue. And that's not at all what I expected. Now I've played with this quite a bit, and if the dissolve is between 2 points within the same clip, or the same file, it's not a problem. But if you cross the file boundary in that nested sequence, you get this behavior. Now interestingly, if we go to project settings, excuse me, a mouse challenge today, project settings, general, and turn off the GPU acceleration and run the Mercury engine software only, then this works just fine. It crossfades from red to blue exactly like you would expect it to. But with the CUDA acceleration, GPU acceleration turned on, it fades to black and then pops up. And so I discover this in my machining videos where I am trying to do a montage to compress a whole bunch of time. And I've got long clips that have been broken into multiple files, and I'm trying to just crossfade between like 1 or 2 second clips in a montage to try to tell a story over the passage of time, and I run into this. One of the clips right in the middle will fade to black instead of doing a smooth transition. So that's it. That's how you reproduce this thing. I'm hoping Adobe can fix this soon because this is getting pretty irritating. It can always switch to software rendering, but then the actual render takes a long time. So I'm hoping this can be fixed.